Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields, there lived a poor farmer named Ade. Ade was a kind-hearted man, known for his humility and perseverance. Despite working tirelessly, the land he tilled yielded only enough to survive. One fateful morning, while tending his barren field, Ade discovered something unusual sticking out of the soil. It was a calabash, a smooth, round gourd, larger than any he had ever seen. As he brushed the dirt off its surface, the calabash began to tremble. A deep voice emanated from within. "Greetings, Ade. I am no ordinary calabash. I can bring you wealth and prosperity beyond your dreams, but heed my warning, never open the lid." Ade stumbled back in shock. A talking calabash, was this some kind of trick? But as the calabash continued to speak, its voice was calm and soothing. "I know of your struggles," it said. "You toil day and night, yet your land gives little in return. Let me help you. Take me home, and I will guide you to riches. But remember, the lid must remain closed." After a moment's hesitation, Ade decided to take the calabash home. He tucked it under his arm and walked back to his small hut, wondering if this strange object could truly change his life. The next day, the calabash instructed Ade, "Take me to the river and place me on the water. You will find treasures waiting for you." Skeptical but curious, Ade did as he was told. When he placed the calabash on the river, it floated upstream, seemingly against the current. Moments later, it returned to him, filled with gold coins and precious gems. Ade could hardly believe his eyes. For weeks, the calabash continued to provide. It instructed Ade where to find fertile land, which days to plant his crops, and even warned him of impending storms. Before long, Ade became the wealthiest man in the village. He built a grand house, bought livestock, and shared his fortune with neighbors who were struggling. Despite his newfound prosperity, Ade couldn't shake his curiosity. Why was the calabash so adamant about keeping the lid closed? What could possibly be inside? The calabash's warning echoed in his mind, but with each passing day the urge to peek grew stronger. One evening, as the village slept, Ade sat in his grand house, staring at the calabash. It sat on a pedestal, its smooth surface gleaming under the lantern's light. Finally, he could resist no longer. "Just one look," he muttered to himself. "Surely it won't hurt." Slowly, he lifted the lid. As soon as the lid was removed, a gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the lantern. The voice of the calabash, once calm and kind, now boomed with fury. "You have broken your promise, Ade." The treasures in the room began to disappear, fading into nothingness. The grand house crumbled, and the livestock vanished. Panicked, Ade tried to close the lid, but it was too late. The calabash emitted a blinding light, and when the room dimmed, Ade found himself back in his old crumbling hut, as poor as he had been before. The next morning, Ade searched for the calabash, but it was gone. The villagers, noticing his sudden fall from grace, whispered among themselves. Some pitied him, while others mocked his misfortune. Ade, however, remained silent. He knew that his own greed and curiosity had brought this upon him. Determined to rebuild his life, Ade returned to his fields. This time, he worked with a renewed sense of purpose. Using the lessons he had learned, he became known not for his wealth, but for his wisdom and generosity. Though he never regained the riches the calabash had given him, he found something far more valuable: peace of mind and the respect of his community. The tale of Ade and the talking calabash spread far and wide, passed down through generations as a cautionary story. Its message was clear. Temptation and curiosity can lead to ruin. True wealth lies not in gold, but in integrity and humility. To this day, they say that if you find a calabash in the wild, you must treat it with care, for it may hold secrets or consequences beyond your imagination.